Video games. Oh wow, I've been brought up playing video games. I remember all the years, in this exact room, at the end of the room, used to have an OTV, and I think was it the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I got no clue, but I remember I used to play a lot of old video games at night time. I wasn't actually allowed to play GTA San Andreas, but I've always done it when my brother wasn't here. I grew up watching video games. Wow. I'm very excited in this video. Finally, we're going to speak about video games. I feel like this has been something I haven't discussed in quite a long time, or haven't discussed on this channel at all, if I can say so. Today, I'm going to be discussing my favorite video games of all time, and I'm going to also be explaining why they are my favorites. I'm going to rank them from 1 to 4, 5, so enjoy this video. So for me personally, number 1 has got to be The Last of Us. Wow, what a freaking video game that is and was. Naughty Dog released this video game about 6-7 years ago, I think in 2014, 2015. And I remember always used to watch PewDiePie's gameplay. And that's kind of the reason why I always used to watch him. That's kind of why I've stopped watching his videos. He doesn't do gameplays anymore, fortunately. Not often though, really not often. And when he does, he doesn't continue the series often. I was just watching The Evil Within yesterday. I'm like, oh, you're fucking kidding me. The guy hasn't even finished his series. He obviously must have forgotten or just completely didn't like it. If you know PewDiePie, you know if he doesn't like something, he won't even speak about it. He just won't continue playing it, obviously. But The Last of Us, I bought that game actually because of him. And what made it so amazing, that game, considering zombie games aren't anything new, but this was a very new concept of zombies, if I could say so. Like, you got clickers, bloaters, runners. The clickers and bloaters were definitely something new, and when they released that game, I was like, oh, this game looks fucking awesome. And the graphics were very good. They've got The Last of Us and they got the remastered. The remastered is very good. It's actually better, high quality definition, everything. And the story of Joe and Ellie is phenomenal. This is a spoiler, by the way. If you want to not watch this, skip away or click off this video. But basically, there's this virus going on in the freaking world, and you as Joe, you go escort her to the Fireflies in Vancouver, Cincinnati or something. You're going to find out that she's not a fucking regular person, but she's somebody who has been infected / bitten by one of these zombies, clickers or whatever, and she can't catch any spores. She can't get infected. She is the cure to mankind. So you take her at the end of the hospital. You fight your way through the soldiers to eventually remake your mind and take her back, because you don't feel like it's worth it taking her life away for a cure. And now the interesting thing is at the end, and this is a freaking important detail, The Last of Us 2, right? What a fucking disappointment that was. Wow. One of the most disappointing Last of Us probably ever made. What made it so bad is in the beginning. So look, let's go to The Last of Us 1, right? To the end. There's these 3 doctors, right? And Ellie's the patient, obviously. You've got to basically kill them all. That's the thing. You don't escape the building unless you've killed them. And one of those doctors you kill, fucking whack. How ironic. In the second Last of Us, you, Joe, and brother Thomas see this girl, alright? I don't know what her name is, but she's very masculine. She kills Joe in the beginning of the video game. And I'm like, doesn't this defeat the whole purpose of The Last of Us? It's literally 2 people on the road. What the fuck is this, man? I didn't like the story of The Last of Us 2. How they really defeated the whole purpose of what made The Last of Us so what as it is. Because you went as Joe and Ellie, and in this one you get as Ellie, you get revenge on Joe by killing this person, Gabby. But the weird thing about Gabby is you also play as Gabby, which is very strange. You play the good and the bad part, which is very interesting. But I didn't like the beginning of the story, and the end is so fucking whack, because you get to this beach eventually, and Gabby gets captured by these 2 bikers, and then Ellie goes after. At the end of the video game, you don't even get revenge, and I'm like, what the hell was the point of all this bullshit, going through all this to not even kill her? Defeated the whole purpose of the story. Then you might as well just let Joel live. So a very disappointing ending, I find. The Last of Us 1, fuck man, the game, the story, the emotions, the feeling, the persuasions, and just everything in The Last of Us 1 was for me perfect. Unfortunately, I cannot replay Last of Us because my PlayStation won't allow me to read the disc. But one of the best games that Naughty Dog has ever released for me personally. So this is my number 1 all-time video game. This is me personally what I find. Number 2, Drake's Uncharted 4. Oh my god, A Thief's End. Also started gaming this video game because of freaking PewDiePie. He fucking influenced me a lot. I remember I used to watch him very small as a kid, Amnesia. Uncharted, for how old the game is, it is what a freaking game. I don't know if Naughty Dog made it or Bethesda. I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog made it. I don't fucking know. It's too much to explain, but it's such a good freaking video game. Beautiful. The cinematics are gorgeous. The environmental places are freaking gorgeous. These islands you explore at the end of the game. I think you're even eventually in freaking Africa or something, Congo or something, at a church. Some of the puzzles were a pain in the fucking ass, though, I'll tell you that. Wow, some of the puzzles were very difficult, but also one of the best, if not one of the best adventure games I've ever played. It's not horror, it is more action, RPG, first person, or not first person, but the game is so good, man. You go around the world hunting for these stone elements. I don't actually know the motive at the end. Yeah, basically, one of the best games. Like, really, for me, very underrated. Doesn't get the amount of credit it should and deserve, because it's so freaking good. Even eventually on Italy at this auction. It's just fucking awesome how they made this game. Very good thought of. I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog made this game as well, and that game, what did I rate Last of Us? I think a 9 out of 10. This game for me is different. I have to give this an 8.7 because it's not perfect. Because if it was 4K quality and released nowadays, it would highly likely be a 10. I have not played, for your information, I have not played Uncharted before. I have only played Uncharted 4, A Thief's End in my life. I haven't played any others. You've got the Drake collection with the first 2, second, blah, 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 blah. But the 4 for me tops it off completely. Such an underrated game, and that is why it is my number 2. Number 3, The Walking Dead. Oh boy, I love Walking Dead. I'm currently at season 11. I've watched all Walking Deads. Next month, Walking Dead season 11 or 12 is coming out. I'm very excited for that. I can't wait. The Walking Dead. Also, for God's sake, PewDiePie influenced me a lot. When I ever see him play games, and I'm like, he's really enjoying the games. And the reason why I used to watch him a lot as a kid, and actually, fun fact, I'm watching all of his gameplays that I've seen. I've fucking Last of Us. I'm gonna probably highly likely rewatch because I love his commentary. I love him as a general person in commentary. He has changed unfortunately a lot, but hey, my man's a millionaire. Who gives a fuck? But anyways, that game I also purchased because of PewDiePie. And what made me fall in love with this game is the choices you were able to make. And I loved that it wasn't the highest quality, but yet it was so very enjoyable to watch as a viewer, and also love to play as as the person. Interesting fact. My game did glitch once or twice. For the rest, there's hardly any glitches in this game, and it is one of the best storytelling times ever. And I have to give this a 9, simply. I probably have to rank it higher than Uncharted because I loved and fell so fucking in love with the main character, Clementine, the season 1. You're the character Lee, and you get bitten at the end, trying to escort her to Savannah to her parents that you hope are still alive. Obviously, they fucking aren't. And he gets bitten trying to escort Clementine. And then, you have to make a choice. Either let Lee turn or kill him so he doesn't turn. That was a really fucking hard scene. PewDiePie even had to cry. When I played that scene myself or watched it, I got tears because I felt like Lee was one of the most loved in the whole Walking Dead. And then you see at the end, you see 2 people walking, and that is a cliffhanger to season 2. Dude, I'm telling you, it's such a fucking good game. Not underrated, a very good game. Very enjoyable. The choices you make, you have to be pretty fast. You've got to be sure who you want to save and you don't want to save. Season 1 for me is one of the best because it's the whole complete introduction. You get to meet people. Unfortunately, some people fall out. Shit like this happens. Yeah, man, the last season of The Walking Dead as well, I loved a lot as well. With Alejandro, his brother, your brother's girlfriend. Very good, and I freaking hope to replay that whole game again. I really loved it. I really miss Lee. Clementine is a fucking badass. How she grows up from this little tiny quirky kid to a grown-up is fascinating. Takes care of AJ eventually. Awesome, I loved it, and it's completely different. Interesting fact, it is a completely different concept than like The Walking Dead on TV. Totally different characters, totally different story. A much better fucking story because it doesn't take that long. Jesus Christ, The Walking Dead on TV takes way too long, bro. It's enjoyable, but it gets sometimes very boring. Love the game, and that's why it is in my top 3 of all time. Number 4, Fallout. Now I love Fallout. I have played Fallout New Vegas. Oh, what a fucking game that is and was. Wow. I remember, if I'm not mistaken, I used to play it on the Xbox. My brother told me a couple of years ago when there was a certain store in our city. It's gone, fucking, he said, "Oh, you don't want to play this game?" I'm like, "Why not? It's way too fucking scary, bro. You won't like it." I'm like, "I'll buy it anyway. It's fucking $20. I'll buy it." I fell in love with that game. Now, Fallout isn't new for any of you wondering. Fallout has been there for quite a while, but like, Fallout 76 was a huge disappointment 3 years ago. Nobody fucked with it really. So many glitches, the story wasn't finished, pricey, one of the worst rated Fallouts actually ever of all time. And I was like, man, this is such a boring fucking Fallout. Fallout 4 was one of, well, that's the thing. I think I played Fallout 2. What was that place called with a nuke in the middle of the town? Fuck, I don't know. You could choose to nuke the town or save the town. I don't know, but you couldn't build any settlements, this and that. That's like the old type of classic Fallout, not to confuse with Outlast. Currently watching PewDiePie's Outlast, they are fucking awesome. I love it. I wouldn't play it because I'm just too scared to play that, but Fallout was something else. One thing that was very unfortunate with like Fallout 4 was the fact that the quality of the game was very good, but it would often have bugs and glitches, just like Fallout 76. Not as bad because it was fortunately enough completed, and Fallout 76 wasn't. It did often glitch and bug out for me, which I was like, fuck man, I paid $60 for this goddamn game and it's still glitching out, So if you didn't save, well, you were completely screwed. I remember back in the days, I think with the older Fallout 2 I think, you actually couldn't save unless you had a bed, or like quick saved when you entered a building or something. Don't know if it does it with the new one, but that's my favorite game of all time also, man. Really loved it. I bought that game because I was a Fallout fan before that. So what is your favorite top 5 video games of all time? Those are my favorite games. There is maybe one or two more, but there's too much detail into them. Thank you so much.